a recap of last week's episode.
I think the only description that I can give about my mother is what our grandparents used to say about her, how she was very unruly, growing up as a child, very disrespectful, and just, some of the things that she done and she got beatings and stuff for because she was very disrespectful to her parents. I don't think either one of us, my sister nor myself, will come on here and talk badly about anybody. Yeah.
I wouldn't make none of it up.
Yeah. So, and
it is what it is.
Yeah. And I know we also had a conversation about our friends and how they looked on us because when we would say certain things that our parents did to us and we didn't have a relationship.
A girlfriend of mine, she had a close relationship with her parents, her mom. And when I used to say, well, I don't have a relationship with my mother, and I felt like people judge me for that. Nobody can judge me on something that I've experienced in my life. Every time I tried it, only thing she did was damage it every time till I just got tired of it.
I guess I would think that, 1 and 2 years old to leave your kids to come to America, those are the beginning stages where a child, from birth on, start bonding with their parents. So we came here to someone who was a total stranger.
I'm not blaming her for leaving us when we were younger. What I blame her for is when we got here, because it's never too late to show your children love and show them nourishment and love and treat them right. It's never too late for that, because you can love and show somebody love at any age in their life and nurture them.
Yes.
So I'm not blaming her for leaving us while we were babies, because she had the opportunity to come here, and she took the opportunity to come here, I guess, to make a better life for her.
I spoke about how, she mistreated you and me before Vicky and Lisa came and moved with us. Mm-hmm. And it was something to do with the fact that I felt, and I think you also felt, that we weren't blood children of Albert.
Yeah, and to me, how I felt about that situation, the reason why we got treated differently, yes, Siobhan's dad wasn't our dad, but at the end of the day, as a mother, this is how I look at it, because I'm a mother. You are a mother. You carried your child for 9 months. So you should have that connection with them as a mother to know that, hey, these are my babies. I don't care what that man did. That has nothing to do with my children. And I think we got blamed in some aspect for that.
It was bad for me and Donna when we started living with them, but things went from worse to horrible within the years that Vicky and Lisa was also living with us as well, because our mother would fight with Lisa. How old was Lisa when she came? Lisa was what?
I think she was about 16.
16, yeah. So because Lisa was older, I don't know what it was between our mother and Lisa, but she picked on Lisa every day and would always fight on her and beat on her, and Lisa used to fight back. I do remember we used to sneak, because she used to make us wear the same clothes for a whole week going to school.
I got tired of other kids bullying me about, why do you have on the same clothes? You just wore that yesterday. You just wore that 2 days ago. And I got tired of that, because for one, it's cruelty that your child have to wear the same clothes for a whole week. Why is that? What's the purpose of that?
Because they did deprive us of food, they would just send us out to play when we were hungry. Mm-hmm. And the apple tree did save us. That and stealing. It wasn't like we were poor. We lived in a 5-6 bedroom home that was 3 levels. And anybody know Baltimore, in the village area, what those homes are like. Mm-hmm. They're very
nice size homes.
Yeah, nice size homes. So I think it was a situation where they just wanted to be mean to us. Welcome to Journey 365. I'm your host, Patrick A. Kelly. So before we get started, please join us in an open prayer. Lord, we thank you so much for allowing us to be here tonight. Lord, I thank you for allowing my sister, Donna Kelly, to be here tonight as well, to support what we're doing and to also bring context to the show. We thank you for all that you have enabled us to do and all that you will enable us to continue to do moving into the future. We thank you for everyone who has supported us, those who are seen and unseen. We thank you, dear Father, for blessing us and also for allowing the show to grow exponentially, dear Father. Lord, we ask that you continue to send people to us who are looking to be delivered, who are looking to share their journey, and through them sharing their journey, be delivered. Amen. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We do have a special guest, Donna Kelly, and full disclosure, Donna Kelly, of course, is my sister, older sister by 1 year, and she's also my best friend. I decided to bring her on tonight for the continuation of episode 4, 706, Torture and Molestation under the Guise of Christianity. And I'm bringing her on so she can add a lot more context to what we went through as children and how our parents treated us. But before we get into that, though, I want to say my thank you. I want to thank God for all that I have received, and I'm definitely appreciative. And Donna is also going to join in with a thank you. Lord, I thank you for allowing me to be here right now, tonight. Thank you for allowing me to be the vessel. Thank you for allowing me to be the message to bring others to you. Thank you for allowing me to speak my truth and to be brave enough to speak my truth. Thank you for how people have received it. We're now on episode 4, and I'm just so appreciative of what you're allowing us to do. So, Donna Kelly, what are you thankful for?
Wow. I'm always grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I thank God for allowing me each and every day to continue with my life and my journey. My life has been such a blessing. I'm grateful and thank God that He allows me and gives me the strength to endure what I've endured and continue to move forward in life as far as my journey in life. So I'm grateful and I feel highly blessed and favored.
Amen for that. Welcome back to Journey 365. I'm your host, Patrick A. Kelly, and we're still here with Donna Kelly, who is giving us some really great insight on the topic at hand, which is 706, which is the house number where we grew up, and the torture and molestation under the guise of Christianity. We thank her so much for her time. Let's get back into the interview. We're back with my sister, Donna Kelly, and we were basically just talking about how our mother would make us wear the same clothes for the whole week going to school, and how kids used to bully us and what she did about it.
Yeah, so when I got tired of kids bullying me for wearing the same clothes for a whole week, remind you, we got bullied all the time because we wasn't American. We had an accent. So we got picked on for that. And then this was the second thing that we got bullied about, wearing the same clothes for a whole week. And when I got tired of that, I just started packing my book bag. And I packed the clothes I wanted to wear, and I packed shoes I wanted to wear. And when I got to school, I went to the girls' bathroom and I changed my clothes. And when it was time to come home, I would go back in the bathroom and change my clothes again. I just got tired of that. There was no reason for us to wear the same clothes for a whole week. That was cruelty. And we got picked on for that.
Another thing that I also remember, as far as the clothes situation, I do remember when she used to make me wear, I think it was Vicky's hand-me-down jeans. So I used to wear jeans. And it was crazy because kids used to pick on me for that as well. And it was something that I didn't understand because, like my sister said, we had clothes. My mother was a seamstress. So we always had new clothes to wear, especially when we would go to church.
That was a showcase going to church.
Exactly. She used to make suits. I remember those patterns, those McCall patterns. What were some of the other patterns? Yeah, to make dresses, pants, and suits and stuff for me and my stepdad. So we had clothes, and now that I think about it, I have no explanation or reason why she would force us to wear the same clothing, other than they didn't want the electric bill to run up because they had to wash clothes or something.
Don't just an excuse. It was cruelty. Anything to be mean and evil to us was the thing. That has nothing to do with it because she got money to take care of us, like I said. So anything that they did to us was just to be mean and evil and abuse us. Anything to abuse us. That was just the game to me.
You know, thinking of some of the other things that we used to go through, I know one of the things that you and I spoke about was how things were so bad that we didn't even want to go home. And how, we used to stand outside in the cold just not to go home, freezing.
Freezing.
And it wasn't like that she gave us winter coats to wear.
No, the coats was thin. They was real thin. And then remind you, we wasn't used to the cold here. I never experienced nothing like that. Coming here was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me as a child.
Let's get into the most traumatizing thing that we went through was the stuffing. You want to talk about how that started?
Well, it was one evening. We all was sitting around the table, and I don't remember who asked for more food. I think it was Vicky. And when she asked for more food, that's when the stuffing started. And that's when they sat us around the table. And they made us eat until we threw up everywhere. And if we didn't eat it after that, even throwing up, we got a beating after that. Because why? We didn't finish what they put in the bowl.
As an adult now, how do you feel now just talking about some of those things that we've gone through?
Well, at one point in my life, I used to cry about it a lot. It took me a while to get over all the trauma that I've been through. And I used to cry about it a lot. But I asked God to deliver me from that hurt and pain that I went through. I would never forget, but I don't get so emotional about it anymore because I asked God to deliver me from it. And I asked Him to give me the strength that I can be who I am today and didn't let what happened to me back then affect me at this stage in my life, because at the end of the day, I felt like they tried to break us. But I did not let it break me. When I was in my 20s, early 30s, I used to cry about it a lot. I used to cry, why didn't my mother love me? Why did my mother allow the things to happen to me? And also, why did she do the things that she did to us? What was the reason for that? We was good children. There was no reason for her and her husband to abuse us. I don't know what it was, why they abused us the way they did. I never thought I would come here and experience what I've experienced in my life, coming from a grandmother that showed us nothing but love and nurtured us, my aunt. My dad, I never experienced nothing like that. My aunt, Mummy, showed us nothing but love.
I remember there were many times, especially in the summertime. I think the summertime was worse for us because we were always home. So
it was.
Yeah.
We was happy to go to school even in the cold.
Exactly. During the summertimes were the worst for us because we had to be home. And I remember there were times when I would get punished where I would be in my bedroom or laying on the bed or on the floor, and I would just cry. And I'm not going to lie, I blamed mama a little bit because I was a kid. I didn't know. I was like,
Why would she send us here?
To come here, to go through all the hell that we gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and I think this is the reason why, now that I think about it, and I've thought about it throughout the years, this is the reason why you and I love watching movies and TV shows so much.
Because that was our comfort. That was our escape. It's like being locked up where you have nowhere to go and you're confounded. And you have to find something to mentally keep you stable. And I think that was one of the things that helped us when we could watch TV. You'd be surprised. It could be the smallest things that help you mentally. And you don't even know that it's helping you until when you really sit back and say, hey, that's what helped me get through some of the things that I've been through.
Through all the hell and craziness that we went through, the cruelty and how that went up against the Christianity. So y'all, we grew up in church. We used to go to church, 4 days out of the week? But through all that, we were presented in church as this, perfect family.
Perfect family.
Quite honest with you, we did have some haters in church, though.
Would be the most best dressed in church.
We sang on every choir, and we were good-looking kids.
And they loved us.
Once we left church and went home, it was like,
it was hell.
Yeah, it was night and day. Mm-hmm. Because in church, my mother was this person toting Bible. She was a sight to be held because she was a woman that she had no shame. I don't think she had a shame bone. She did things and didn't care what people thought about her or anything like that.
And she was so she don't care what nobody think about her. She was so.
We would be in church with our head down when she would be running up and down the aisles of the church, holding the Bible. I remember when she was faking speaking in tongues. And we were like, what the? I mean, just some of the things that we went through with her. She, at any time, she could be a total embarrassment.
And she didn't care. She didn't care. She did what she wanted to do when she wanted to do it. No, it doesn't matter how nobody feels. That's just her. That's just her.
And she even started a war in church.
Threw the Bible across the lady, one of the church members' head.
She went back to church and was telling people about how she was treating her kids. And she confronted her one Sunday service by hauling her Bible at the lady. And didn't we end up getting put out of church because of that?
I think so. Yeah, I think we left after that. Yeah.
So that was just some of the things that we went through, as kids. How, our mother, she read the Bible profusely. I mean, it seemed like she knew every book in the Bible.
Oh, yeah, she knew every book in the Bible, every verse.
But what was so crazy is that she would cuss us out, call us all kind of nasty names, every name in a book, and then she would go and pick up the Bible and talking about God. And me personally, I know I never understood that.
Me neither. Confused. I was confused because I didn't understand the fact. How can somebody serve God and God is nothing but love? So how you serve God and you doing nothing but evil? I was confused about that. What God are you serving and what God you calling to and think he's condoning the mess that you do? I was confused about that until this day. You can't tell her nothing. She holy but righteous.
I'm still confused, but
yeah.
Let's get into, after all the stuffing and the craziness and the fights and stuff like that, her hitting Vicky with a 2x4 and us getting beatings and stuff like that with switches and tree branches, hands and extension cords and stuff like that. Let's get into the molestation. You want to talk just a little bit? I don't want you to get too in depth in it because I know that you're going to also do your story. Do you want to kind of hover over that a little bit?
The most confusing part to me, when he started that, I was confused. As a child, I didn't know what he was doing. So I was very much confused because I never experienced anything like that. And it was very, very scary for me. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't understand when he started touching on me what he was doing. And that sat with me for the longest time until I got tired of it. When I noticed what he was doing wasn't right, and that's when I went to tell her what he was doing. And she didn't believe me. She didn't believe none of us. But it was just scary to me because I didn't know what he was doing, period.
Yeah, I remember the day that, because you were scared to go to her and to tell her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was us who spoke to you and finally kind of nudged you to go in.
Yeah, I think Lisa, because me and Lisa talked a lot. Me and Lisa talked a lot, and he was doing the same thing to her. So when I got tired of it, when I felt like I was old enough that I can defend myself, that's when I told her.
Mind you, this man was our stepfather, but he was the real father to Lisa and Vicky, and he molested them as well. So you have to, I can't understand the mindset of a person like that. You can totally understand what we went through as a kid, dealing with people like our parents. You know,
the sad part about it, she knew what type of person he was, and she was in denial because the whole thing with her, she has to have a man. A man always come first before her children, whether they're your stepchildren or they're your real children. When you made the choice to bring Lisa and Vicky in your home, you made that choice to be a mom to them. When you brought us here from Jamaica, you made the choice to be a mother to us as well. So you were supposed to protect us from everything that came to harm us, but you was the one that harmed us. That part, I was very confused. And like I said, I cried days and night about that, even in my young adult. I think when I reached in my mid-30s, and I saw that, because the most hurting part for me, still in the process as a young adult and even in my mid-30s, I was trying to build a relationship with her, even after the fact, after all of that. And every time I tried, she would do something else to hurt me. And then it just it was a cycle. And I had to ask God to help me with that and help me separate myself from the person that continuously hurt me. Help me to find a way to separate myself and stop looking for love from somebody that can't give me love. And I had to ask God to help me there. And He the only one that helped me with that. Because like I said, I used to cry about that over and over and over again, even in my late 30s. It was God that helped me to know that the person that you're trying to look for love from, you will never get it from her. You will never get, you just need to accept it and move on and heal yourself. Let me heal you from that. And He helped me. That's why I say, today, the person I am so strong. And some people might say I'm mean. People have called me mean. It's not that I'm mean. It's that I learned how to structure myself to let people not hurt me anymore. It's not that I wouldn't consider myself as mean. And then another thing, one of the things we heard that we never really tap into, how we couldn't have friends nor could we have our family, like our cousins, come over, and we couldn't build a relationship with them. That was another thing that made us loners, because we never had the chance to build a relationship with our family member that's basically our same age. We could never do that. And if we did that, it's like we had to beg and beg for that. So, like a part of me always felt like a loner anyway. I'm trying to do better as I got older and things changed for me not to be a loner and interact with people more. But my whole life, basically, I was a loner. Besides you and me, having a relationship, I was a loner.
Donna, I was the same, because, speaking of crying, I remember the first episode that I made, which is called A Message, and it's out now on all the platforms. I did not go into recording the episode and bawling the way that I did. The only thing that I can say is that it was just a lot of stuff that was bottled up inside of me.
But you never let out.
That I never let out, because I also used to cry as well. I was crying about that whole situation as a child up into like my mid-30s.
Yeah.
But then I exchanged the crying for being very strict, being mean. Some people even called me a B.
Oh,
and
me too.
Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, I was. I'm a no-nonsense person.
Me too.
Put up with no BS. And
Me too.
I have my tolerance for BS.
It's very short. I don't have tolerance.
Yeah. So it wasn't until, I would say, when I got sick with the stomach issue that I had, God really started working on me and softening me up, because I was a tiger in any and everything that I did.
Patrick?
Till this day, people always say, "P.O., you're intimidating." I
got that all the time.
Yeah, we didn't start out like that. I was a very loving child, and I always wanted to help people. And just always wanted to be there and nurture. But throughout the years, dealing with, what our parents did to us, and people always took advantage of my niceness. So I had to change. It was either me changing to becoming tougher and to taking charge of my life, or having people to continue to run over me. And that wasn't going to happen. Our parents ran over us so much.
Yeah.
When we got to the point that we could defend ourselves, we started defending ourselves from everybody.
Yeah.
Not just our parents.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, even being in relationships, like me, a woman being in a relationship with a man, I felt like when a man would do something to hurt me, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't deserve this. Why are you doing what you're doing? I don't deserve this from you. Because at the end of the day, because I got abused and got mistreated, my thing was not to mistreat others because I got it. So when somebody did something to me, I didn't understand, why were you being that way to me when I'm not that way to you? Now, I always been the individual that speak how I feel and say what's on my mind, but I learned as I got older how to say it, and not to be like a knife that kind of mellow it down a little bit. I've learned that. I've learned how to humble myself and restructure myself from how I used to be, because I used to be so angry, and I had so much things balled up inside of me from all the things that happened to me. If somebody did something to me, you will get it. You will get it. Even in school, I used to whip tail, boys and girls, and I didn't care, because I got tired of the abuse that I was going through at the house. And then when I went to school, I was getting it in school as well. So I got tired of my frustration and everything that I went through at home. The kids in school got it. I whipped their behinds, boys and girls, and didn't care. I got put out of school so many times and I didn't care because I was just so tired.
Don, it was the same with me. I think, speaking of deliverance, I think just looking back on my life, he started delivering me from that. This had to have been back in maybe 2004. Because I had one particular friend of mine who he did something to me. And I just dug into his tail and I just started yelling at him to the top of my lungs. And sometimes when you do stuff, you don't really know what you're doing until somebody bring that to your attention.
Yeah.
And he brought it to my attention. He said, why is it that when you get mad, you get so angry?
But you had a lot balled up inside of it.
And I realized that a lot of that stemmed from when I was a child. And I was still taking it out on people. You know what I'm saying? And that was something I was, and I'm not going to lie to you. I used to be the person where I would cuss you out so bad that I would even be embarrassed after I come.
Me too. Trust me, Patrick, I've changed so much, and I can say it's because of the grace of God. Because like I said, I was a knife. Okay, you come for me, you're going to get it. And that was because I had so much anger built up inside of me because of the things that I went through. Now, I still say I'm a knife, but I'm not as sharp. Because you come for me, because I don't have that anger in me like I used to, I'm a little bit more mellow. I learned how to do things a little bit better. And one of the most important things in my life and the most important person in my life is my husband. John has taught me how to humble myself so much when it comes to when things happen to me and how to deal with it. And he always so positive, and he always see the positive side of everything. And I used to get mad with him sometimes. I said, you always take it up for people. But it's not that he's taking up for the person. He see the more positive side of him. So he taught me so much as far as how to humble myself to deal with people. But still, Donna still have her side. Donna gonna always be Donna. She is where if you come at me the wrong way, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm not gonna put my hands on you. I'm going to tell you how I feel, but I learn how to say it now. But you're still going to get it. You're going to get it directly how I feel. But I learned what type of words to use now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Donna, that's the same with me. It's so funny, but not funny. Like going to my gym, I've met so many people. And they see the Patrick that I'm always smiling. I'm very positive. I'm always encouraging people. And majority of the time when I'm working out, I'm listening to either Brandy, like Brandy's one of my favorite artists. I listen to her, Monica, Tamia, Joe. And, lately I've been listening to, I would say more pop gospel music.
Yeah.
And so people, they know, no lie, I literally would be at the gym and I would have this permanent smile on my face. And I would be dancing from time to time in between my workout, and because I would be so happy. And this Patrick wasn't always like that.
Exactly.
This Patrick was like I said in part 1 of episode 4. I was a nice person, but I was also nasty. I was a nice, nasty person. And when you got on a bad side of me, look out.
Yeah.
And now I am totally different. I would be the person that will walk away as opposed to getting in any confrontation with you. And if I get into a confrontation with you, I'm going to use my head. I'm going to be sensible about it. But I had to, one of the things that God, as God is working on me, he would tell me, separate yourself.
That's another thing, yeah.
God
you have to.
God told me just recently when I released episode 1, which is called The Message, and I talk about the dreams and stuff like that I've, that God showed me. But then I did my chronicle. And after that, people started looking at me differently. They started treating me differently.
Because they can't understand.
Yeah, and I was talking to God about, I said, Lord, these people are treating me. It's like and I don't even really know these people, but you see them maybe, 3-4 times out of the week or whatever. And I said, these people are looking at me differently for whatever reason. And God was like, this is basically what it is. When people hear your voice and hear your story, that is going to create a reflection. What you're doing and what you're saying, it's a mirror to them. And it's reflecting back on them who they are. And a lot of times people don't like dealing with who they are because
no, they don't.
Many of us run around here day in, day out, and we put on our makeup and we put on our designer clothing and stuff like that. And we drive our fancy cars and we got all this money and wealth and stuff like that, but we are still messed up.
Yeah, listen on the inside. We cover it up with material things. Yeah.
You don't deal with the inner. I remember one time somebody at the gym came to me, and this is the person that's always talking about, making money. And going to the gym that I go to, it's a lot of very progressive people, a lot of business owners and people who do have money and some who have a lot of money. And I hear these people talking about building their wealth. And so one day I said to them, well, what about your inner wealth? What about your inner wealth? How are you working on your inner wealth? And one of my good friends, I had this conversation with as well. I told him, I said, listen, if you work on your inner wealth, everything else is going to come to you. Everything that's on the outer, how you look, how you take care of yourself, how people treat you, how you treat yourself, all of that is going to come if you work on your inner wealth. And working on your inner wealth is taking one issue at a time that you have. Work on that. Ask God for deliverance. Pray. Once you get delivered, then you can go to the next thing.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found with people, not that I'm judging anybody, because I don't judge other people on what they choose to do. But one of the things I found with people is a lot of us don't know who we are as an individual. So if you don't know who you are, you can't be true to yourself. And I'm big on being true, staying true to who you are once you know who you are.
Exactly.
Staying true to yourself. Don't do things to get an audience because you need an audience for you to feel good about who you are. No. Feel good about who you are. You don't need nobody to validate who you are as an individual if you're comfortable with you. And I find a lot of people look for validation in others.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't need validation in others if you know who you are and you're staying true to who you are.
I was just on TikTok today and I ran across, I forgot the young lady's name. And I'll bring that up in one of the commentary on the next episode. But she was talking about how society mold us into thinking and to think less of ourselves. At age 51, I stopped running from God. And I fully embraced my destiny to the calling to be the message. To be the message and to do this podcast and the show, I had to lay myself bare as I'm doing now. So you can understand that this isn't a game at all. God is using me. He is using me to be the message for you. And he says, come as you are and be delivered. But to do that, you have to bare yourself to him and everyone because of our strength. God don't give us more than we can handle. And if he puts you through something like what I've gone through or what you have gone through or what you're going through now, it means that you are strong enough to handle it. And he didn't give you that. He didn't give you all of that blessing for you to hold on to it. He gave it to you so you can share it with others so that they too can be blessed and delivered and know the love of God. So I thank you so much for being here with me right now, because you have had so many other things that you could be doing. Thank you for starting this journey with me, and thank you for your support. I can't wait to meet each and every one of you to hear your story, for my continued deliverance and for the deliverance of others. Good night.
Patrick A. Kelly owns the copyright in and to all content in and transcripts of At Journey 365 podcast, with all rights reserved, as well as his right to publicity. You are welcome to share the transcript up to a maximum of 400 words in media articles such as the AJC and other notable media platforms, on your personal website, in a non-commercial article or blog post, and or on a personal social media account for non-commercial purposes, provided that you include attribution to At Journey 365 podcast and link back to the At Journey 365 podcast URLs. Media outlets with advertising models are permitted to use excerpts from the transcript per the above. No one is authorized to copy any portion of the podcast content or use Patrick A. Kelly's name, image, or likeness for any commercial purpose or use, including without limitation inclusion in any books, ebooks, book summaries or synopsis, streaming media, TV, film, or on a commercial website or social media site such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, X, etc., that offers or promotes you or another products or services. For the sake of clarity, media outlets are permitted to use photos of Patrick A. Kelly from the At Journey 365 podcast or licensed photos of Patrick A. Kelly from commercial image platforms. Content shared from tim.blog.